Hello, friends. Hello, friends. A tradition unlike any other.
Oh, my goodness. In your life, have you seen anything like that?
There it is! Adam Scott, a life changer. Mashed potato!
Here it comes.
All right, the record button is flashing. Another episode of the 19th Tee podcast. Drew's with you for tonight's episode. I'm very excited about this. This has actually been over a year in the making, which is entirely my fault because I forgot to get back out to our guest when I first reached out to Matt Heath, sitting across the screen from me, also here in Western Australia. A very busy man at the moment. You've got a lot of things on your plate, not least of which 4 kids, which you've got in bed at the minute. You got the baby monitor next to you. We're going to see how this goes. But, mate, welcome to the 19th Tee. We are very, very excited to have you on board and having a chat with us.
Thanks, mate. Happy to be here, finally.
No, I must apologise because that was my bad. I did reach out like a year ago and then, life kind of took over and who knows what happened in between there. But we're happy to have you on, mate. There is so much to unpack with you, actually. I was, when we circled back to it, I thought, where are we going to go? Where are we going to start? And I guess I'm keen to just unpack all of your golfing stuff that you've done, not least of which is Ron Chopper. Many people listening to the show would have heard the name Ron Chopper, but they may not know that you are the man behind where it all began a couple of years ago, which we'll get into, Ron. But maybe take us through your day job. What do you do? I guess you're based out at Cott. For those who don't know, Cottesloe Golf Club, stunning golf course. I think one of the true underappreciated courses here in Western Australia. So that's your day gig. You're out there teaching the masses.
Yeah. So full-time coach out there. Very busy at the minute, which is awesome. But yeah, love coaching, and that was always the passion as well. So it's really good to be at a place like Cottesloe, location-wise, and even the members there are unreal. So yeah, very happy where I am coaching there.
It's a stunning golf course too, as I said. I think, one of the true underappreciated courses. I've not had the opportunity to play, but I was out there for the WA Open a couple of years back, and it's just it's a phenomenal golf course because you are so close to the ocean, but it just seems a world away when you're inside the gate there, and it's truly a special place. I think on the WA golfing and the WA golfing, I guess, landscape.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I get there very early in the morning to coach, and I don't think you get a better view sitting up in the clubhouse at 7 a.m. looking over the beach. It's a very special place and always in really good condition. WA Open, the Cott Open is obviously a massive event which just happened, and the place is looking amazing. But it's very very easy place to work.
I certainly bet. Now, where did golf begin for you, mate? I mean, it's a question we love to start all of our guests off with. Where did it sort of all begin? What's your earliest memories of the game, and how did you get involved?
I think growing up, I was pretty heavily into cricket. I wasn't too bad bowler, not the best batter. My dad...
Well, you're a tall man. You would have been sending them down.
I am, not straight, but definitely trying to sling them in as much as I could. But terrible batter, just couldn't get the hang of that. Dad tells me stories of sitting out there scoring for 6 hours, waiting for me to finally have a bat, and then stepping back trying to hit it for 6 off the first bowl and getting clean bowled. And I think he got to a point where he said, right, if you're going to do that, let's go hit some golf balls. And yeah, I think where everyone in WA or Perth starts, they go down to Wembley, go to that driving range, and then just, got addicted. Ball wasn't coming flying at me. It was steel. I got to do what I want. So it was, and play when I wanted. So yeah, that was just an addiction from there, and just, went on from there.
Still love cricket?
I did play a bit of indoor cricket and got through without breaking my fingers, but there'd be moments where it get close and you're like, oh, I can't do this. I'd still love to play, but it's pretty flat out, and it's definitely something I'd love to do later on. I'd still be a terrible batter, no doubt.
The Ashes are on at the minute, so I need to get a TV in here so I can do 2 things at once. But did you have the cricketer's slice when you came to golf? Because I mean, that is my curse. I cannot get rid of the slice, and I'm attributing it entirely to cricket. Did that Was that for you, or were you not at the crease long enough to to amass
Spot
the
on.
slice?
It's probably a blessing that I wasn't a very good batter, so that was never an issue. I couldn't play a drive shot anyway, so yeah, golf seemed a lot easier than cricket at the time. So yeah, not a problem for me.
So where did you go from there? Obviously, you start to pick the game up a little bit. Wembley Golf Course out there, as everyone does, trying to hit it through the goals. And I mean, we'll chat about WA golfing landscape soon, and some great news about Wembley this week as well in terms of the redevelopment sort of piece that they're doing with Mike Cocking. But what's the where did it all go to from there for you? I mean, obviously, at some point you must pick up the game and go, I'm actually fairly decent at this and I can hit the ball a little bit better than everyone else my age.
Yeah, I think just it was playing public courses. You'd finish school, you'd get to Marangaroo or Carramar down that way.
Yeah.
They would put you in with a group, and it got to the point where it was great, but it would have been great to play with people my own age. And
Yes.
the idea came across to join a golf club. And then once you get into that, the junior programs are really great, and you meet people going through the same at your age, going through the same sort of journey, getting handicaps, playing for vouchers, and I've still got mates that I made from when I was 10. I still play golf with them now. So that was at Lakelands Country Club. That was the first place I joined, which I then ended up working there as well.
Yeah.
That place was awesome. Big, massive junior sort of contingent down there when I started. It was like you couldn't book in Sunday. You had to like almost line up to get your name down because there's so many juniors wanting to play, and that was awesome competing against them. And yeah, great little golf club over there.
It's a great course too. I've quite enjoyed. I caddied around there once actually for Pennants last year. Interestingly, very insular West Australian golfing community that exists rocked up, and they were playing. My mate plays for Royal Perth, and he was playing Sun City in the Pennants final, and the caddy of the bloke that he was playing was David Gapes. So there's there's the very insular West Australian golf content people. But Lakeland's beautiful golf course and stunning clubhouse as well that they've done out there. So you're picking them off quite nicely, mate. Lakeland's caught. I don't know. I don't know what else you've got on the radar, but you've got some good ones. Now here's where my research could come very unstuck because I don't do a lot. I'm not going to lie. I probably started at about 7:15 this evening. Did I read correctly online somewhere that you went to the London Olympics with the US Olympic team and did some work with them?
Yeah, this is during the Olympics, whenever that was. Geez, it was
2012.
2012, yeah. So obviously playing golf for so long, there's a point where you get over it a little bit and you just want to have a break. So it was pretty much pack everything up and get over to London, and just was there at a perfect time. Got a job with this agency that sent you out to different jobs, and the American Olympic team had a house that they went to celebrate. Mm-hmm. Just obviously they don't want to be out in public and getting into trouble. So I think Budweiser sponsored this house that was pretty much on call 24/7. So if they won a gold medal and they wanted to celebrate, you got the phone call, get to there. There's going to be these gymnasts coming through wanting to drink tequila all night, and you had to be on call for that. It was unreal. So I think one night Muhammad Ali came through. That was probably the biggest night. There was a couple of wrestlers that came in. The rowing team, I've got a photo with one of the girls who was in the rowing team, and she's like 6'8".
Right.
It was just the most bizarre week or 2 weeks of my life, but it was unreal.
So what sort of players are you mixing with over there in terms of the US team, as in golfers?
Oh, no golfers came through.
No golfers came through.
No.
Right.
I think I remember at the time it was like, I think it was the first year, or maybe.
No, because it would have been 2016 was Rio, wasn't it? That the golf got introduced.
Yeah, so there's no, I don't remember ever. I remember thinking
golf.
Yeah, no golf there. No, this is just literally no golf, sort of get away from the thing for a while. And
right.
I remember thinking it'd be cool if the basketballers came through, but they never did from the US team.
Wow.
But yeah, that was an awesome couple of weeks.
So then you come back to WA. and there's two things I want to pick out probably more recently. First and foremost is 2020 you were named the PGA Club Professional of the Year. I guess maybe talk us through that and I guess what it meant to be awarded that because it is obviously a very prestigious award. So maybe just take us through what it meant to win that award.
Yeah, I think that was at Pinjarra Golf Club, sort of
Mhm.
head pro there, and I think it was like my third or fourth year. But being in a country course like that, the freedom you have from members and committees who just go for it, do what you want, anything to get people through the door. So
Mm.
I think having that luxury of being able to just trial things, and a lot of things stuck and worked.
Mm-hmm.
And then because things are working, you just keep coming up with new ideas. And I think that's something the PGA wants every pro to do. I just had the luxury that I could just have that freedom to do it. So a lot of incentive stuff going on to get members through. And I think at a small club, if you can show that you've brought in a lot of people, that definitely bumps you up the list. So, but yeah, that's all credit to everyone over there that let me do what I needed to and try to get people through that door and run competitions and obviously try and bump up their social media side, which I think you need to these days to get eyeballs at your golf club. So yeah, I obviously pretty thrilled with that. But we did a lot too. So it wasn't just me. There was a lot of people there helping me out and volunteers and which you get at country courses. I think that was like why it was so hard to leave eventually, because it was just more the people that you meet and how helpful they are down there.
Probably a good segue into your alter ego because that's where it all began back at Pinjarra, wasn't it? I was trying to find the very first video that you did as Ron Chopper, and I really struggled to find it because you have posted a fair bit of content since that time. But if I'm recalling correctly, the alias Ron Chopper began as a bit of your stereotypical Saturday hacker that comes into the golf store. Is that sort of the genesis of how it began?
Yeah, I think. To be honest, Tristan McCallum, who's the head pro at Seaview. I remember when we were both working there. I think it must have been raining, and we were talking about we should do a video about what members say. And I think at the time we were too chicken. We started it, and we were like, "No, we can't do this. We'll be in trouble." Then being at a country course where everyone, I feel like, has a better sense of humor sometimes, I thought I'll do it here because they'll take it well. I think it was during COVID. It was members only, so at a small country course, members only playing in every 10 minutes. There would be like an hour between me seeing someone. I think I had a bad phone call from someone who asked some stupid questions, and that was like, all right, that's it, I'm doing this. And just made a video about stupid phone calls and like silly things people say, and obviously it happens everywhere because as soon as it went out, and I think I did a good time. I think everyone was at home on their phone watching TV. And then I put out something like that. It was, I think, timing and like it obviously resonated with a lot of clubs because a lot of clubs posted that, or pros who were trying to vent their own way. Yeah.
How did quick side note, but around COVID, obviously, we've spoken to a lot of touring professionals in the past couple of years since COVID, but I guess we've probably not really spoken to anyone in your shoes who was working at a club at the time. Like, how did things change, I guess, for yourself? Because I saw on your Instagram, I went back and was scrolling through, and the photo that you posted of the Pinjarra club house there, and a big closed watermark that you'd thrown across it. Like, it must have been a really genuinely scary time for as it was for everyone, but for yourself, obviously working at a golf club as opposed to the touring professional who were maybe still able to go out and head overseas and maybe play in other events if there were things going on. But how did it sort of unravel for you guys?
I think that first lockdown. So it wasn't that long ago, but it's hard to remember. I think it was like 10 days we were closed. I think the biggest worry was the greenkeepers not being able to maintain golf clubs. That was sort of like, well, what do we do? What happens to the greens if no one's able to look after them? There was that sort of worry first, but then they were able to look after it. And it only lasted 10 days, but I do remember thinking at some point this is going to get scary if it blows out for a couple of months. But lucky enough, it was only 10 days, and that's why golf's such a sort of boost, because it was pretty much the only thing you could do when it went back. It was outdoors. It was sort of considered a sort of like a parkland. So I think that it sounds bad, but COVID was probably the best thing that happened to golf.
Back to Ron. Let's leave COVID behind. Back to Ron.
Yeah.
So you post a video. I remember watching it at the time, and I was like, "This is good gear. I like this. This is funny." And then obviously the second one came along, maybe I don't know, a couple of weeks later, and I was like, "This could be something really cool here." But I didn't really know you at the time, and I was like, "Oh, you're probably just killing time." At what point did you go, people are actually watching this? This is something. Like, was there a moment that you can pinpoint back and go that, okay, this character that I've created is now interesting to a heap of people?
Yeah, I don't. I think the first thing was the PGA got on board and was sharing every time I put up a video. So I'm like, well, I guess my boss or the head body that I work for approves this. So that gave me the green light that I'm like, okay, I'm not treading on anyone's toes.
Yeah,
this is going okay. I think it was when you get messages from like golf pros from Argentina and the States and England who are saying that happened to them, and you're like, wow, this is obviously, I'm not the only one. This is cool. And then like from that, it's just grown. There was no plan. It was just people just wanted to see something else, and there was only so much I could probably do sitting in a pro shop. So we had to like take the next step. So I think at one of the PJ dinners, Joel from Above Socials came over, introduced himself, and said he'd love to film some things. And originally it was meant to be some skits, but we were on the golf course, and he's very good at what he does, and he has like a much better camera than my just old phone. And once I saw the quality, I was like, oh no, now it has to stay at that level. And then just wanted to have a game against a pro, and I thought it'd be funny if Ron could take the mickey out of a pro and see how that would go. And that video went well. And then with working with Joel now, and he's just snowballing from there. We sort of try and come up with different ideas, and it's obviously the way he films it and does it, it's easy to watch. And that helps. I couldn't do that by myself on a phone. So he really helped keep Ron going more than anyone, I reckon. So but it's great fun. And and it's obviously traveling now and doing it. It's very bizarre. Like asking me a year ago that's what you'd be in Melbourne playing golf pros and golf courses doing this Ron stuff, I would have been like, what are you talking about? So again, this time next year, who knows? I might have said the wrong thing and I'm cancelled. I don't know. But it's been awesome. It's very cool.
And I believe it's $32 a pop every time you mention Above Socials and Joel. Is that right?
It's at least $98 there, Joel.
Yeah.
How's my math?
We'll keep a little tally going. That's or $36 or whatever it was. If you
round it up.
If you didn't think that I wasn't going to reach out to him ahead of this, then so I've got some things to ask you towards the back end. I mean, it's actually like, it's incredible, and I love watching every video that you put out. I'm subscribed to it, so I get the little notification, and I'd encourage everyone to do the same. It's so easy watching, but I think the point of difference that I love watching your videos is you're not taking golf seriously, which is perfect for me and perfect for this podcast, but you're actually really fucking good at it too. And I love that. And I love that. It's not like me going out and doing it and hacking around and trying to, pretend that we're half decent at golf, but people can actually watch it and watch decent golf that is funny. And I think you've managed somehow, I don't know how you've done it, but you've managed to get that balance perfectly right. So you've done a good job.
Yeah, I think that's my golf game at the minute. Just the only time I play golf is like when I play as Ron. So and I get on that first tee, I'm like, I could play really well, or I can have an absolute shocker. I'm playing this touring pro. I could stay with him, or he could absolutely flog me. I think, I think when you watch a video and you go, I've got no idea what's about to happen. Neither do I when I'm on the first tee either. So, it feels like a bit of a battle out there, and I'm trying to break par. I'm trying to beat this pro, or trying to. It's I'm definitely trying. It's just not happening for me right now.
I mean, the growth's been really cool too, because I wrote your stats down here. Nearly 8,000 Instagram followers, nearly 14,000 YouTube subscribers. Like, it's genuinely blown up to something that's really, really cool. And there are golf channels of people who put up 5 ways to stop your slice and all that sort of shit. And there's a million of them that exist out there, but there's nothing that exists like Ron, and that's really cool. So you've done a bloody good job, and I love watching it. So I'm very, very excited to see where it all goes in the future, mate. So what do you have in store? Is there anything that you can tease out for us that you've planned out for Ron?
We definitely we want to play Big Red again. That was probably our biggest video. He's a bit of a character himself. So that's between him injuring himself. We're trying to work out when we're going to do that. I think it's the travel. We've got to work out where we want to go. We were thinking of going to Queensland. Then the idea of maybe going to Vietnam. There's a new venue over in Vietnam. It's like Norman courses and Faldo courses. And obviously, it's very cheap to go there rather than going to Queensland. And time of year as well. It's sort of through this winter part. It's quite tough. Meant to be doing something on Monday, but if it rains, we can't do it. So thinking of going somewhere that we can chase the sun. And the trip we did to Melbourne, we were able to get about 8-9 videos done. So that almost gives us 2 months of planning for the next thing. So yeah, planning on traveling and playing places overseas, but also showing off the courses we have in Australia. That's sort of, I really like, I like showing, like we did one at Araloon, and I'm hoping that helped people see that place for how amazing it was, and went out and had a game. So, and then I did one at Serpentine 2 days ago, which is just this little country track that volunteers look after. And if that somehow some people go and visit and help them out, like I really like doing that as much as playing these amazing courses. That I do enjoy doing that sort of stuff as well. There's
some great areas. Me and Marshy have talked about it for a long time, that we've got this idea of doing golf trips, and kind of just not the generic golf trip that you would do, similar to what you're talking about. I mean, everyone's done, or most people have seen Tassie golf courses or the Sand Belt or whatever it is, but there's some great parts of Australia. Like I think the southwest of WA is really underrated in terms of a golf trip. So we've explored that as well. So it sounds like you've got some great stuff coming up as well. We'll have to when Marshy comes over to Perth, we might have to line you up and take you on. You might have to give us about 600 shots, but we'll maybe we might be the first to beat Ron, but you never know. So
I did see a video with your swing. Yeah.
How would you describe it? Fucked.
Oh, it was. I just saw I remember that it was something at Sun City, and it went,
with Dave.
It was full on. There's a fair bit going on there.
It's bad, hey. Maybe I need to come down and get some lessons. Maybe that's what that's what needs to happen first and foremost. I saw you took on the Tee It Up guys. They do a wonderful job. I mean, we're not so precious to not give other golf podcasts a shout out on this show, but the Tee It Up guys do a wonderful job of their show as well. And that video just went out yesterday, 2 days ago, I think, Matty.
Yeah, that was probably the worst. So that day we got up at 3 a.m., drove to Geelong to play this course. We played it in the morning, 18 holes, and then in the afternoon I played those boys. And I remember telling Joel at the time, I was like, "Oh, I'm wrecked. I'm feeling it now." And then my first shot hit a house, and I was like, "Oh, this is not going to be great." And then Q was just giving it to me as he should. Yeah. So, but Q was amazing. Like Q is basically over there who runs that podcast. He set up everything. He sorted out every golf course we got onto. Without him, the trip wouldn't have happened. So, like, I'll take the loss to him. But yeah, like looking forward to going over there again. There's so many golf courses over there that it's just ridiculous. Like I was saying to Q, it feels like we're so far behind here. You got your top three; they're amazing. Whereas every other golf course over there looks like our best here. So, but yeah, they were great, and they helped me out over there.
How much have you learnt about editing?
A fair bit. What I think's good. I get absolutely crucified by Joel, but it's good. We've got three of us who sort of look at all the Ron videos, and there's no feelings involved. If it's crap, we call each other out. I think that's why it's working so well. We don't put anything out unless we're laughing at it. If it's crap, we won't put it out. So me and Joel basically swear at each other, and the video comes out, and we're like, "Oh, that went really well." So it's good. It's good. It's like a marriage.
He sent me about, I don't know, a big paragraph of things to to ask you or maybe stitch you up with. So I'll pull out the appropriate ones. But I did get from a couple of people. They wanted me to raise in a public platform the question: have you wrecked any YouTube careers?
Dave,
Now I'm not. I'm not entirely certain what that actually means, so I'm hoping that you might be able to paint a bit of context to it.
David, who was one of the choppers, and I played with old clubs. He had this channel 4 to 4. English guy, spoke, bit of a strong accent, hard to understand. He had a game with me, and I had a game with him, and I had an old set of golf clubs, and I ball from the 70s, and he just played like shit. And apparently that's my fault. So I turned it up. I played very well with those old clubs. He played horrendous, and then obviously if anything goes on the internet, you just cop it. So
That's it.
and it's fine. Like I've like luckily Ron has made is from the start has said he's sometimes good, sometimes shit. So I can't really cop it anymore. But Dave, yeah, he really copped it, and I don't think it got inspired him to do any more YouTube videos since then. I still feel bad. I still feel bad, but he was his own fault as well.
Look, and to be honest, that's the excuse that I'm taking. You know, when I played Dave, he dusted me very easily in that 9-hole match that you're referring to about my atrocious swing, and I feel I got Dave on a good day. I mean, he really played out of his skin and demolished me. I just received my COVID booster that same day. There was a lot of factors at play that didn't lead to it, and I had to drive to Yanchep and all that sort of stuff. So,
yeah,
but you've ruined his YouTube career. Keen to kind of just unpack a little bit because it's not often that we get to speak to West Australian golfers and people in the West Australian golfing landscape, as I've referenced before. But how do you see West Australian golf at the minute? I mean, we're getting very inside baseball here, and half our listeners probably won't give a shit about this, but I'm going to take the liberty. How do you see West Australian golf at the minute? Because there's so many incredible courses, and I do think that it is underrated in terms of a golfing destination. But how do you kind of unpack it as someone who's seen probably more than most?
Yeah, I mean, it's. I think what we lack here is sort of like if you go to the Gold Coast, if you go to Melbourne, you're playing places where you can stay the night, and that has apart from I guess I'll probably get apart from Joondalup, where else could you probably stay? Like
I mean,
it doesn't
stay
feel
around Mandurah, but you couldn't stay on any of the courses.
on the course, and that's the thing. Like you've got that's what they do so well. You've got resort places where it's like the resort connected to a golf club. It's just apart from
The Vines.
I can't Vines. Yeah,
Yeah.
You've got there's two, but like I mean, every third one over east is like that. So obviously because of that, they get a lot of traffic, and it's only with WA. It's got to be only WA people that are filling up the golf courses, which they are at the minute. But when we did play Araluen, you go to that place. It's so far away, but you're looking at it going, wouldn't it be amazing to have this as a resort that you would stay, play on this golf course? Obviously, that's money and it costs an absolute fortune. But yeah, that's definitely what we are. I feel like we're behind compared to the rest of Australia. Just having that, giving anyone a reason to come and play, can come and play and stay. And apart from 2 courses, it's not really an option. So, but I mean, the West Australian sport, every golf club here, I think if a golf course isn't doing well at the minute with the way golf is going, it's probably something they're doing wrong. But from all accounts, I don't know of any golf courses that are struggling right now. So that, which is awesome.
I think, as I mentioned before, I think the Southwest is really underrated, particularly for, I think, in terms of Capel and Dunsborough and Bunbury and Sanctuary. You've got so many, Bustleton, Margaret River. You've got just so many within half an hour's drive, and I love that area of the world generally, but I also just think some of the golf down there is incredible. And you can make a really good week or weekend out of it if you want to have a golf trip and play good golf courses at the same time. That you're not rocking up and playing goat tracks. You're actually going and playing genuinely good golf courses that test you.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know what they need to do. And they, again, excuse my ignorance, but I don't know if they're joining up together and making something where you play Friday at Bustleton, Saturday at Bunbury. Yeah. Like I think that's something they could look at. But they might be absolutely packed with members on a Saturday, and it's not viable. So yeah, it's hard. I think it's a very untapped sort of area, but at the same time, you need to be able to stay somewhere close. And like I said, whether we don't really have those sort of facilities in WA yet, and whether it will happen, I don't know. But that's the thing I think we're missing out down this way.
Favorite course here?
Here, I'm going to say Araluen. Araluen, if it was just absolutely tricked up, looking spectacular. I think there's not many golf courses where you stand on every tee box and go, rightio, what's going on here? And I feel like that's what happens every time you're there. Every tee shot's a bit different. Every hole looks ridiculous. Yeah, and I think everyone that plays there just goes, I can't believe this exists. I never knew about this. That I would say Araluen's probably my favorite golf course.
And then you get to 16 and you got that incredible, probably the best par 3 in Western Australia. I think you'd be hard pressed to find one. And then I genuinely think out of the courses I've not played every course, but I can't think of a tougher finishing stretch off the top of my head than Araluen. You get 16, you got to clear the water downhill. 17, you got a very long it's not, well, it's long for me, long par 5, and then long par 4 to finish off. Like it's a pretty tough finishing stretch. Maybe if you're playing match play, it's you'd be pretty hard pressed to find something tougher, I reckon.
Yeah, even the other way, if you finished on 9, you've got to hit a 130-meter shot over water. So it's great to look at and sometimes pretty hard to play. Underrated
course in WA?
Oh, yeah, so you'd have to look down south. I haven't played it. I've seen photos and videos of Margaret River. That looks pretty cool.
Very cool. You would love that. You should definitely check that out. 2 of the most varying from front to back. Just you think you're playing 2 completely different golf courses. It's amazing.
Yeah,
very cool.
Yeah,
do rate that sort of area. You have a think about your favorite underrated one. Course that you go, I don't know. Not this isn't my favorite, or this is going to beat me up today, or a course that you've got scar tissue from.
All my scar tissues at Lakelands. That place has just drilled me over the years, and I think it's hard. I think like your local track like Lakelands, you play so much that every tee box you get on there, you either go, okay, I play it like this, or do not hit that house. I always hit that house. So I've got like mixed emotions about Lakelands. I've had great times there, and I've had some of the worst times there. So I got to say Lakelands for sure.
State of public golf at the minute. How do you kind of describe it? I mean, I think it's largely the same as what you said before. I mean, you'd be hard pressed to find any club that's struggling at the minute. It seems like every tee time fills up rapidly. I mean, the state of public golf seems like it's in a really good place in Western Australia. Obviously, you've seen it firsthand in your experience at Wembley as well, which is, I mean, I don't even know where you begin to describe Wembley. It's truly a phenomenal piece of land and property that they've turned into a golf course that's exceptional, is the only way I can describe it.
Yeah, I mean, they're setting the standard for, I guess, anywhere in Australia with how to fill up a golf course, and there's so many avenues, part driving range, golf course, pub, like it just ticks all the boxes, and it's only going to get better from all the things you see in the pipeline with TrackMan going on the driving range. That's just, I don't know how they're going to fit all these people in because it's already flat out. But every other golf course is fairly busy. You got Hammersley that are trying to update their track and their facilities, which is probably definitely due. But yeah, like I obviously coach people that play public golf and ask them where they're playing, and a lot of the time they're like, "Oh, I try to get on Saturday, can't get in here, can't get in there," and you're like, "Wow, it's just ridiculous out there." And even Cottesloe has nearly a 7-year wait list to become a member. So
is that right?
Yeah, I think having a 7-year wait list for a golf club is just, I've never heard of that. It's just ridiculous. I don't even know what Karen Ops is, but I don't think it's 7 years. It'd be up there. But yeah, it's obviously golf's in a great place at the minute.
Well, I mean, there's a million more questions to ask you. I mean, you played as Ron Chopper in a Blitz event at the back end of last year. I was out on the green interviewing you, asking you what was going wrong, and I think you had probably the largest crowd following you around as well. I mean, that must have been a cool experience? So, or maybe, I don't know, it was a nerve-wracking
Oh,
experience. How'd you find it?
I remember on the first tee, I was standing there and we saw, there was like, obviously, I reckon about like 40 people standing around the green. And I think we were the second group off that par three. And I can't remember who was in the group. I remember being like Hayden Hopewell, I think, was in there. And I thought, oh, it's got a big following. And he went off and then went to the next tee box and no one moved. And I was like, oh, bugger off. Like, I could kill someone from here. And yeah, just all these people walking down the fairway. It was, yeah, very surreal, very cool. And then you look around, the guys in singlets and drinking a beer. I was like, yeah, they're here for Ron. They're definitely, it's like Happy Gilmore sort of moment. That was awesome. And I just had a message from the Simon who organises that. So he wants me to come to the final in Adelaide in January. So
Cool.
yeah, definitely keen to do that. But yeah, that's a very cool event. Like it's done very quickly, music playing. I feel like I can go and have 100. It doesn't really matter. And I every year I try my best to shoot 100. So yeah, looking forward to that event again.
It's good fun. Been involved for a few years, and Blitz are great supporters of this show, and we like to give them a good plug as well. It's been a lot of fun watching their growth over the years, and I think the Ron character certainly aligns perfectly with Blitz Golf. Where did the name Ron Chopper come from? If you can divulge.
There was a member at Pinjarra that would be there first thing on a men's comp on a Thursday, on a Saturday. And we had a love-hate relationship. I'd get along really well with him. And then he would complain all the time about slow play, but because he wanted to play in 2 hours 50 for 18 holes. And I think someone, after I did the first video, goes, so what was the name of that guy you were doing? I was like, oh, it's Ron. And they all laughed because they knew exactly who I was talking about. And that stuck. And then I was just like, what's the last name for a golfer? And we just went with Chopper. And it was just, yeah, not thinking it would stick. It was just a laugh at the time. And yeah, now it's Ron Chopper and got merch and all this sort of stuff going on. So yeah.
Cool. You've got the merch. You've essentially trademarked the shirt and the hat combination. I mean, there's people that go out wearing that on the weekend, and I'm fairly certain they're emulating yourself. You've got the merchandise going. I mean, you've made a pretty good go of it, mate. So you've done very well. I guess. There's millions of other things that I could ask you, but you've been generous with your time, and we must let you go. The last one that I wanted to finish on was something that I stumbled across on your Instagram that I thought was really special, and it's obviously probably a more serious way to finish what's been a light-hearted chat. But your work with at COT in 2022, I saw that you ran a program for deaf golf or deaf youth, essentially running a program for them to get into golf, and that really caught my eye. Can you maybe just explain that one to us, and obviously how that worked? Because I imagine it probably would have been a new challenge for you trying to communicate to people who are hard of hearing as well, and I'm sure it would have been very rewarding at the same time.
Yeah, that was a pretty cool couple of weeks doing that. It was something that I've never done before. That was all instigated by some of the committee members at Cottesloe. They went through the Golf WA Foundation and got a grant to get these schools and get them to travel over to COT. And yeah, it was like literally trial and error trying to work out how to communicate, and it was very good. I had to go through the whole basics of a golf swing and explain it very clearly, very slowly, and so that it can be interpreted and not be confused. But as we got on, I sort of got better at it and knew like where to stand. You got to very hard if they're not looking at you, then obviously not going to hear. So you had to make sure you always got in front of them. It's very hard to stand in front of a kid who's about to hit a golf ball to tell them to stop for a second. So that was very daunting. But by the end of it, it was we sort of really got the hang of it, and all the volunteers that were out there understood where to stand and how to communicate. I think the most bizarre thing is obviously when you have a junior, you're coaching a group of juniors, and if someone makes a putt, there's like a big cheer and everyone's clapping, and you can sort of get excited as well. But in this situation, if something happened, it was just dead quiet, but they were obviously happy and they're making their sign for that. It was just so bizarre. And it was hard to know how the whole lesson was going because I couldn't communicate at the time, and they say it's good, but you don't, when you have them speaking and laughing, you can understand if they're enjoying it or not. So that was a challenge, but it went really well and they want to do it again. So that's a good sign.
No, that's really cool, mate. That's something that caught my eye that I thought I must ask you about. And it sounds like the team out at at Cotters are doing great things. Obviously, yourself included. I've called it Cot the entire way through this podcast. You've called it Cottesloe, so I think I might be barred because I'm sure the members within probably call it Cottesloe its full name. I'm, as you can tell,
You're
probably
fine.
probably not private golf course material. I think.
I think your golf swing might bar you more than calling it cot.
Yeah. Hey, I've been doing some work. I've been really trying to do some work, but the weather's been quite prohibitive here in Western Australia of late. So I've been really trying. Matty, I'll send you some new and updated swings. So I'm trying.
Okay, please.
I'm trying my absolute best. I'm playing on Sunday for the first time in about a month, so that'll be fun.
Okay,
At
cool.
the Springs Club in Armidale, which will be
Oh yeah, nice.
fun. I've heard it's very good. Lastly, tell us how we can all get around. Firstly, your golf services, and then also that character that you do as well called Ron Chopper. How can we get in touch? The Instagram, the YouTube, whatever it is, here's your elevator plug.
Oh, right. So I guess, yeah, Cottesloe was where I coach. So on their website, there's a link to my diary, which you can, anyone can have a lesson at Cottesloe. You just have to make sure you're wearing all the right gear and you're good to go. But the YouTube stuff is probably the biggest platform we're trying to get going because it's where everything goes. So that's, just Ron Chopper Golf on YouTube. And I'm sure I'm the only one called Ron Chopper Golf. So it should be the first one that pops up. I did have like as you do every now and then, for some reason, you Google yourself, and I typed in Ron Chopper and it gives you some sort of, it said Ron Chopper, how tall is he? What is his real name? I was like, okay, everyone's like, someone's researching something. So whether it was you, I don't know.
Very good, mate. No, well, we appreciate you coming on the show. As I said, it's been over a year in making, entirely the fault of myself. So apologies again for that, but we've really enjoyed having you on and having a chat and learning about obviously yourself and what you do for the golfing industry here in WA, and also your alter ego Ron Chopper, who I'm looking forward to watching more videos, and maybe when Marshy gets his ass over to WA, we'll line you up and we'll see if we can take you down with two very shit golf swings, which might be the end of your YouTube career if you lose. So, thanks for coming on, mate. Really appreciate it.
No worries. Thanks for having me.